Hello everyone, this is Charlie, and in this tutorial, I'll be showing you the tricks when selecting the reference range for the sum, SUMIF, index match, and other lookup functions. With the ability to create a loop and using index match function, we're in a very good position to complete our task. And now we will use the file that we built from the last episode and continue to develop it and make it even more efficient. Aren't you curious how? Let's dive into it. Okay, let's understand Excel, using the sum function as an example. The current table shows us how many fruits I have, and there are 3 types of fruits, one for each. If I want to know how many fruits in total I have, I will use the sum function and select the sum range. What if there are 10 additional apples? Okay, we'll insert a row and add the 4th item with the quality as 10. But you see, the sum function amount did not update to include the new row that I just inserted. We have to manually update the formula so you include the inserted row. However, when you are working on a huge spreadsheet, there is more than one cell with similar formula and it's very easy to miss updating all of them. What's the best way to overcome this issue? The answer is to always leave a blank row or column as a cushion when selecting a reference range. Let's refer back and use the sum function again, but this time I'm going to include the cushion row. However, when I'm adding a new item, I won't just use the empty row. I will insert a new row for the 4th item with the quality as 10. And see, the formula now is smart enough to include the inserted row. Let's understand what's going on here. When you select the reference range for a formula, Excel will then use the range to calculate the results. And if we press F2 or click the formula bar, you will see where the reference range is. And clearly, when you insert a row outside of the range, Excel will not pick it up. However, if you leave a blank row when setting up the formula, Excel will then smart enough to pick up the inserted row. Therefore, you should always have an extra row when selecting the reference range for a formula. And never use that cushion row. You always insert a new row when there is a new item. Same idea is applicable to the column. The cushion row or column should always leave as blank and never be used. Otherwise, it lost its meaning as a cushion. The logic also applies to a lookup function like VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP and index match. Now, let's refer back to the looping process and index match function that we created in the last episodes. And look at cell 03, the formula that we had set up in the last episode by using index match function to look up the amount for investor ID and the transaction type. We'll add a watch window to monitor the change in this cell. See, the current formula is selecting the range from C3 to G10, with the index match properly set up to include the cushion row and column. When there is a new row insert, the reference range in the lookup formula will update it itself. The last row has changed from 10 to 11. Same idea with the column. With a new column insert within the reference range, the last column has changed from column G to column H. So this is essentially the same logic with the sum function. Okay, in a practical world, how are we going to use this logic to help us? Now, in the previous chapter, I have been showing you how to create looping process and combine with the index match function so we can transform the data from an aggregate format to a transitional format. And of course, we do not want to keep doing this every time when we set up a file. We want to reuse it again and reuse it again. So it can significantly help us reduce the time that we spend on working on a project. However, what if someone provides you the schedule that you need to work on but has changed the layout? If you just copy and paste the data into your worksheets, your lookup formula will be broken. Does that mean you need to redo the formulas all over again? Nope, of course there is a way to cheat. We can handle this situation with 3 simple steps. Number 1, review the change of the layout. Number 2, adjust your work paper to accommodate the new layout. And number 3, copy the new table and paste it to your worksheets. Then your formula is now picking up all the new numbers and you don't need to worry about updating any formulas. Sounds crazy? Let's do both ways and see how long does it take. I want to demonstrate you the speed of each method. On the left side, we'll update a file using the 3 steps that we have just mentioned. And on the right side, we will use copy and paste without adding rows and columns. And then we will need to update the index match function. And done. Now you know how to build the worksheet smartly, aka cheat. That's it for today's tutorial. Comment below if you have any questions and like my video now. Subscribe my YouTube channel for more tutorials. Lastly, don't forget to check out Art of the Balance and download the free accounting system module.